Conor McGregor ain't no goat. My niggas, it's your boy DJ for Epidemics, and today I'm taking over the adjunct offices. Eventually, this is gonna be a segment, and it's gonna be called Adjunct Sports, another channel. You might want to follow that. But anyways, today we getting into sports, baby, and excuse me, I got a little bit of an allergy developing here. But Conor McGregor ain't no goddamn goat. And we talking about MMA today. And specifically, this guy named Conor McGregor. Oh, brother. Now, Conor McGregor, he's the hottest thing around in the fight game. He takes to the social medias, the Twitters, and the Instagrams, and he says that he is the number 2 GOAT behind Anderson Silva, above GSP and John Jones. Doesn't even mention Demetrius Johnson, who I believe should be in this GOAT conversation. Anyways, his reason for being the number 2 GOAT behind Anderson Silva is that he takes risks. He's generated billions of dollars for the UFC. He's the first ever champ, and he doesn't do steroids. He mentioned that also to put a knock on Anderson Silva and John Jones because, well, he says he's number 2, but really he says that he's tied for number 1 with Anderson because Anderson did steroids, of course. And he does give credit to Anderson Silva by saying that Anderson had the most unique finishes in the game. John Jones, he kind of puts him in number 4 and says because John Jones doesn't take any risks. And he's basically, his fights are an ambient pill because he doesn't have any knockout power and doesn't finish people. He didn't say he didn't have any knockout power, but we all know John Jones doesn't have any knockout power. And then he puts GSP in number 3. Of course, GSP didn't move up in weight divisions till after retirement, and he was just a bitch. Anyways, so Conor McGregor, those are his reasons for being the GOAT. Now, for me, when I consider GOAT, I'm talking about I will put risk as a factor. I will put steroids as a factor. But other things I consider are the come up, the record, title defenses, and level of competition or degree of competition, whatever you want to call it. So when we talking about risk, I believe he means weight divisions, right? All these other people that he mentioned and Demetrius Johnson, with the exception of John Jones, have competed in other weight divisions. GSP after retirement, of course, because he's a bitch. Then Anderson Silva, he went up weight divisions, competed in the light heavyweight division, not even for a title, just to save a card. Demetrius Johnson used to compete at bantamweight, 135. He was disadvantaged there, moved down to flyweight when the UFC opened that division because they merged with, or they bought WEC. And then he found his natural flow and stayed in that division, and he was comfortable there. You don't need to move up. Um, However, Connor is the first champ, but is he the first one to move through weight divisions? No. Randy Couture did it. Light heavyweight, heavyweight, won both titles. Not championship, but won both titles. First ever UFC. Name of Horace Gracie. Uh, he was competing against guys 2, 3 times bigger than him. If that ain't risk, then I don't know what is. Now, there have been others after Connor, Henry Cejudo, Daniel Cormier, Amanda Nunes, champs who competed in multiple weight divisions. Other non-champs like Frankie Edgar, or he was a champ at one point, but not a champ or a double champ, but he's competed in multiple weight divisions. So you're not you're not the first to compete in multiple weight divisions. And as far as risk, I don't even take that into the GOAT conversation because if every fighter is taking a risk when they step in that cage. If it's all about risk, then Bob Sapp should be a GOAT right now. Okay, anybody that went into the ring with Mike Tyson should be a GOAT. The come up: Conor McGregor, Anderson Silva, GSP, Demetrius Johnson. Um, they've all had pretty much the same come up. They did it the right way. They in line. Well, at least for Conor, through that 145 division. Okay, so he did it how the others have done it: GSP, Anderson Silva, John Jones, and Demetrius Johnson. So I'll give you a tie there. 155 was offered a title fight on a silver platter. Okay, and then lost the second fight was Khabib. 170, it was just, I don't know. I don't even know why he took that fight. I guess because Nate Diaz called him out, and then they decided to do it at 170. First one lost, second one won. Anyways, come up, I would say that's a tie between all five of these individuals. Even though Connor does not mention Demetrius Johnson, I'm still putting him in that GOAT conversation above Connor, okay? And above anybody else, okay? He might be number one, I don't know. Now, let's go to record. Conor McGregor, 26 pro fights, 22 wins, 4 losses. All the losses by a submission. With the exception of Anderson Silva, all these guys, John, GSP, Demetrius, have a better record than Connor. And if you rewind back, Anderson, same age, he would have a better record than Connor. Right now, Anderson's an old man, so he's been racking up losses left and right. GSP, 2 losses, 26 wins. One of those losses was a lucky shot by a midget, and he avenged that loss. Demetrius Johnson, 30 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, better record. John Jones, undefeated in my book. 1 loss by a DQ to some retard, deaf guy. And it was just a stupid rule by a referee. Okay, not even rule; it's just stupid refereeing. So he loses there on the record. Okay, title defenses. That's the other factor. 0 title defenses for Conor. I don't even need to say anymore. He has not defended any of his titles, not even once. And this goes into rankings, right? Khabib, that's his nemesis, is ranked number 2 right now. John Jones is number 1. John Jones has defended his title on multiple occasions, consecutively 8 times, non-consecutively 11 times. So he's tied with Demetrius Johnson there at 11. Anderson Silva 10 times, held that record for a long time, lost it after Weidman put that whooping on him. GSP 9 times, defended the title. Now, John Jones is ranked number 1, Khabib is number 2 because they're active, and this is according to UFC.com. Bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Hell, Henry Cejudo, Daniel Cormier, Amanda Nunes have defended at least one of their respective titles on one occasion. So, Connor, you're not even close to go, okay? If we're going to talk about title defenses, Henry, Daniel, Amanda above you. Done. Now, level of competition. Level of competition for Conor McGregor at 145, I would say is high. He beat all the low level guys: Brimage, Brando, the German steroid midget alien, uh, bleached, burnt, toaster oven croissant looking, just Vaseline in the human form. That German steroid midget, you know what I'm talking about. Seaver, I believe his name is. But then he beat some high level guys: 48, Max Holloway, Chad Mendes. Now, don't give me that bullshit he was fighting midgets, because Max and Portier are definitely no midgets. Okay? They might be taller than Connor, I believe. And then he starches Aldo in 13 seconds. So at 145, his level of competition is high. That's his come up, his true come up, I believe, in the UFC. He also did in other organizations, but we're gonna talk about the UFC. That's where it's at, baby. That's where it's at. Sure, he didn't fight Frankie, but I saw that fight going Conor's way because Conor is a better boxer, and Frankie cannot take that left shot. I know that for a fact. Yeah, how I know? My grandma, my dead grandma told me. So shut the fuck up. And then he fights at 170. Didn't go too good. Lost the first one to Nate. Came back in the rematch, undefeated in the rematch, by the way. Um, and just implemented his game plan. Now, Nate at 170 is big, and when it comes to Conor, he's fighting the midget. Okay, Nate is fighting the midget this time. The tables have flipped, baby. Now, Nate is no walk in the park, and I've never seen him in any real trouble with even high level guys. Okay, and the only man to ever knock out Nate is Josh Thompson. Look him up. It was a high fly kick, I believe you call it. Not a knee. It was just a foot to the face. Slept him. And that, well, actually, he was still awake. They threw the towel in because Nate was curled up like a ball. Don't hurt me no more. However, it's really easy to beat Nate Diaz if you don't play this game. Pick at the legs, take him down, because he's built like Mr. Slanky. Catch him on his weak side, aka his right. And if you can, throw some bombs to open up those scar wounds and make them bloody in both sides. And that's it to beat Nate Diaz. But I still consider him high level competition. Cerrone, I would put him on the same level as Nate, except he has a weaker chin. So, okay, maybe one level lower. And y'all see what happened there. Conor looked good at 170 because he did it right this time, not like when he went and fought Nate Diaz. Then he moves to 155, his natural weight. Nothing really going on there. He was supposed to fight Dos Anjos. Dos Anjos pulls out. Dos Anjos later fights Eddie Alvarez. Alvarez gets lucky and wins the title. Then Conor comes strolling along, does what other UFC fighters should have did to Eddie, which exposed him for the Bellator scrub he is. He put a beating on Eddie and became champ, the first ever. And I mean, the closest thing I've seen to that fight was George Foreman versus Frazier. I mean, it was like a whack-a-mole game where the alligator pops up after you beat it with the hammer until Eddie couldn't get back up. He did lose to Khabib, but he defended the takedowns very well and got around from Khabib. Khabib and Eddie as level of competition. I don't consider Eddie high level competition at all. I consider him a bum with a lackluster UFC career who got lucky, and Conor did exactly what he was supposed to do to that bum. Now Khabib, he's higher level competition, and but his level of competition, Khabib's level of competition, can also be questioned because, like Conor said, Khabib is a pull-out merchant. He didn't fight Tony. There is also Justin. He never fought Nate. He did beat Dustin Poirier, and I think his greatest competition to date was Conor. And I see Conor winning the rematch if that rematch happened. Because don't forget, Khabib did lose to Clayson T-Bow, but he was juiced to the gills. Now, is Conor the GOAT? Not by a long shot. But he's great in rematches. Okay? Remember, Nate, like that Nate rematch, and even the first fight, he had Nate looking like he was starring in a video. Three guys, two hammers. Conor's face was clean. Um, but let's get back to it. Conor, you are no GOAT. John Jones and Anderson Silva, GSP, have stayed on top of their respective divisions for years. John Jones since the age of 23. He's 33 now. Anderson Silva stayed on top for 6 years since coming into the UFC from 2006 to 2012. And he was willing to go down for GSP, but GSP is a bitch and pussed out. But he was willing to fight BJ Penn. He also moved up to light heavyweight and made the guys who basically put the UFC on the map, Boner and Griffin, look like amateurs, as I stated before. Um, their level of competition is also higher. I mean, John Jones was fighting killers since 23. Rampage, Rashad, Machida, Belfort, TRT Belfort, Daniel Cormier twice. He made Shogun tap out before the TKO. Sonnen, Gustafson, Teixeira, Anthony Smith, Santos, Reyes, GSP cleared out a division full of killers and left the champ. Came back and left the champ again. Anderson Silva fought a lot of good guys and made them look like amateurs. Franklin, Maya, Okami, Sonnen, TRT Belfort, Dan Henderson, Cote, Marquette, Demetrius Johnson also had high level competition. Benavides, Cruz, Johnson, Triple C, uh, and Demetrius Johnson is considered to be one of the best MMA fighters by at least Joe Rogan. There is a bald-headed UFC president, I believe. I don't know if he may have mentioned that, but it's like a bad relation. I don't know, something weird is going on there. I don't trust that motherfucker. Anyways, the last thing, steroids. Okay. Um. Okay. So, level of competition. Before we move on to steroids, I forgot. Level of competition. I believe John Jones beats him easily. I believe Anderson Silva beats him. I believe Demetrius Johnson beats him, and I believe GSP beats him. Okay, so that's for that argument. Now, going back to steroids. Conor makes a good point in that he never got popped for steroids. If we're only talking steroids, he can put himself above John Jones and Anderson Silva. He may have a point there. Okay, because maybe their career is tarnished because of that steroid scandal. The JSP and Johnson have not been popped for steroids. Okay, so steroid thing will put a blemish on your record. Steroid for steroid, I would put John Jones over Anderson, and maybe even GSP over Anderson. And I put John Jones still at number one because John doesn't have any knockout power. And that's what I think when I think steroids. Does it improve your mind? I don't know. But John is all skill. I mean, submissions, uh, TKOs, but not real knockout power. Not like Anderson Silva, who was nicknamed the Spider. I've never seen a fucking spider knock out anybody. So there's a case there that he did use steroids. Well, he was actually popped for steroids. It was found in the system. So that's fact. John Jones, fact also. GSP, can't put yourself over GSP. And you damn sure can't put yourself over Demetrius Johnson. So it's not even close to GOAT status if we're talking about with or without steroids. Johnson I put at number 4 only because his level of competition isn't as high as a GSP, Silva, or John Jones. But Demetrius did clear out his division, and I thought he won against Henry Cejudo. And he's still winning other organizations. He's still winning. With steroids, I'll put Mighty Mouse at number 1. Let's say steroids is a disqualifying factor. I'll put Mighty Mouse at number 1. John's still at 2 because he has no knockout power, and it's all skill. GSP, I would put at 3 because he did it twice, left on top like you should. And Anderson Silva at number 4 because he was for sure found guilty of those steroid allegations, and it was just downhill after USADA. So that's my take on it. Conor McGregor, you ain't no goat, man. So stop it. Anyways, like, subscribe, comment, share, and let me know what y'all think in the comments.